Hello, this is Paul Ploener. We're coming to you live via Facebook Live on the 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio Facebook page. And I wanted to talk to you about the Ohio State-Michigan game coming up this weekend. A great rivalry game going way back, and it's always a great game. I would like to talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes first. The Ohio State Buckeyes have one loss. They were 10-1, and their loss was not a pretty loss. It was against Purdue. But Ohio State offense is averaging 42 points per game, and they're number 8 in scoring offense and in scoring defense. They allow 25 points a game. That's 45th in FBS football. Well, one thing about Ohio State, they have a phenomenal quarterback, and that's number 7, Dwayne Haskins. 69% completion rate, 36 TDs, which is phenomenal, 7 interceptions. He has 4 games with over 400 yards passing. Now, he's just amazing, and the completions are very high. I've looked at a lot of different quarterbacks in football this year, and his stats are like almost double in terms of completions and touchdowns, most quarterbacks that you will look at their stats. So he is amazing. So I can't say enough about Dwayne Haskins for Ohio State. Then he's got number 2, J.K. Dobbins. He's a running back, 900 yards rushing, 4.7 per carry, 9 TDs. And also running back Mike Weber, number 25, 700-plus yards, 5.6 yards per carry, and 5 TDs. And then he's got a couple of wide receivers who have tremendous stats in terms of receptions. Number 21, Davis Campbell. He's got 60, I think it's Darius Campbell, but he's number 21 Campbell, 66 receptions, 9 TDs. And number 14, KJ Hill, 62 receptions and 5 TDs. And just on defense, the Ohio State, I like to talk about 2 players. Defensive tackle, number 86, Draymond Jones, 34 tackles but 7.5 sacks. So the Ohio State is going to give the Michigan quarterback a run for his money. He's going to have to run around a little bit. And number 8, cornerback, Kendall Sheffield, 25 tackles and 2 interceptions. A lot of good players on defense in Ohio State. But we'll talk about their defense a little later and some of the points they've allowed to be scored against them in recent games. Now, you got Michigan. They score 37 points per game, 24th in the nation, and points against, they're very stout, 13.5 points per game that they allow. That's 5th in big boy football, FBS football. And, of course, number 2, graduate transfer, number 2, Shea Patterson, has made a big difference for Ohio State this year, coming over from Ole Miss with 18 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And he's got this big running back, Karan Higdon. He's number 22, 1,100-plus yards of rushing and 10 TDs. And then the wide receiver, number 9, Donovan Peoples-Jones, 32 receptions and 7 TDs. And then on defense, you've got Devin Bush, 60 tackles and 4.5 sacks, and number 14, and he's the defensive lineman, obviously, and the defensive back, number 14, Josh Metellus, 38 tackles and 3 interceptions. And here's what I think it was going to come down to. It's going to come down to, can the Ohio State defense stop the Michigan offense? And I have a problem really looking at Ohio State's defense right now, and I don't know what the problem is, but last week in an overtime, they could have lost that game last week against Maryland, but they won by 1 point, 52-51. And yes, overtime you get a lot of extra points, but they were scoring a lot of points in regulation too. This was against Maryland. This is not like some football behemoth like I could see Michigan State or Penn State or somebody that actually is got a big reputation, has got a great record this year. But are you kidding me? You allow 51 points against Maryland? And then in a loss against Purdue, who are the best they're going to do this year is maybe 6-6. Now, yeah, they got a great offense. They scored 37 points. against Missouri. But look, Ohio State let Purdue score 49 points on them. So I'm looking at that, and I'm very dubious about the Ohio State defense. Now, Michigan, we know their defense is great. They're going to keep Ohio State. They're going to keep their points within range of their offense. So I think that if Maryland can score 51 points on Ohio State, I think Michigan, even though Ohio State, they're playing at home. For some reason, Ohio State does not play well on the road. Obviously, they lost on the road to Purdue, and they allowed 51 points against Maryland last week on the road. But look, Michigan's coming in. They only allow 13.5 points per game. I know Dwayne Haskins is great. He lights it up and all that. But I believe that Michigan defense will keep the Ohio State offense under 30 points, and that's what they've got to do to win. And I think that Michigan will be able to score 38 to 45 points on the Ohio State defense, which right now is not very good. And that's the problem. But Michigan has not proven to me that they can beat Ohio State. Going back, I don't know how many years since they beat Ohio State, but I can tell you they didn't beat them last year. Michigan didn't beat Ohio State the year before, and Michigan didn't beat them the year before that or the year before that. So I'm saying, in my memory, I don't even remember the last time Michigan was even competitive with Ohio State. But this is the year, with all the turmoil at Ohio State, with Urban Meyer and his suspension and all the stuff that is going on around that program, I think that Michigan has the best opportunity. They're 10-1. They've got one loss against Notre Dame. That's the first game of the year. And you say, okay, it's a learning curve for Shea Patterson to come in. He came to the program, to the campus, I think it was over the summer. So yes, they give him a week to get, a week or two to get in the game shape, and he's on cruise control. Shea Patterson is doing a great job. So yes, I think this week Michigan on the road have got to beat Ohio State if they want to play in the playoffs. Then they've got to win and beat Northwestern for the conference championship. But Northwestern is not going to give them as much of a problem as Ohio State. Michigan knows they have to win this game. Michigan has the talent on offense and defense to win this game. Ohio State is a mess. It's a hot mess, allowing all these points being scored against them. They had no business allowing Purdue to score 49 points against them. They had no business allowing Maryland to score 51 points against them. So I believe that Michigan can beat Ohio State this week, and they will beat Ohio State this week by a score of 45 to 28. That's the score. Michigan will roll. They're going to keep their number 4 standing in the playoff picture. And I hate to say it because I'd like Michigan to lose. I like Ohio State then to lose in the Big Ten championship, and then maybe the SEC could have two teams in the playoffs. That's not in the cards. This is Michigan's year. They're going to roll. Ohio State may be looking for a new coach next year. There's a lot of talk of Urban Meyer not being happy about his suspension and his relationship with the athletic director. There's a lot of talk out there. So yes, Michigan 45, Ohio State 28. Watch the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of scoring, especially on the side of Michigan, because the Ohio State Buckeyes defense is not stopping anybody. So watch this game. It's going to be great. It's going to be on national TV. And that's all we've got this week on college football. So thank you for watching us. This is a Facebook Live broadcast. If you're watching it now, it's live. Please comment. Please share. Please help us get the word out about 100 yards of football, Sports Talk Radio, Facebook, and our website. We've got a lot of things going on. We do appreciate all that you do for supporting us. And we basically say, Michigan is going to win. Please don't send me hate mail, Ohio State fans. I love your team, but right now, you got problems. It's internal, and Michigan is going to win, and it's going to spoil you your whole year. I know all you folks in Buckeye country, but it's not my fault. I just call them as I see them. I don't have a bias one way or the other. I probably, as a University of Georgia fan and a Syracuse University alumni, would wish both teams would lose, but I'm a football analyst, and I've got to be impartial as I see it right now on this team. I have no bias on these two teams. So thank you for watching, and catch us next time on 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. And thank you. Please feel free to comment, share, and communicate with us. Thank you for watching, and enjoy your weekend of college football.